before we get into the show, I had a question for you. And it is about the term ish. So let me ask you a question, Brandon. If somebody says, hey, I'll be over at 6 o'clock ish, what is the appropriate amount of time for this ish to be okay? And when does it become they're late? Like they shouldn't have said ish. They should have just said a later time. They should have said a later time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm an isher. I am. You can go back in our texts, and I probably have used ish a lot. So if this is an intervention, you could have just said so.
No.
I don't know. I think you have a 30-minute range. So if you go, I'm going to be there at 6 o'clock ish. That means you're going to be there from 5:45 to 6:15. That's when I say ish. That's what I mean.
Okay, so I have a very similar answer, and mine is 30-minute window, but it needs to be pushed further after the time you said. So if you say I'll be over at 5-ish and you're there at 4:45, it's going to be a little weird because I think you're a little early. I'm kind of expecting you to be late. So if you show up at like 4:50, that's all right. And if you say I'm going to be there at 5-ish and you show up at 5:20, that's all right. But if you're showing up at 5:30 when you said 5-ish, you probably should have just said 5:30-ish. Like, if you know that you're going to be cutting it close, just say, I'll get there at like 5:30-ish. And if you get there a little bit early before that, then there you go.
Let's get into Royals. I don't know where you guys stand on the ish argument, but
comment down below what the appropriate window is. The Royals, last 7 games since we last talked, they went 500 at home, which is good. It's not good. It's adequate. They were able to take the series against the Twins, and they dropped the series against the Cubs. And now they're out in LA. They just went head-to-head with the Dodgers, went blow for blow, which is actually kind of impressive to see. But I don't know why I stayed up expecting them to actually win a game going blow for blow with the Dodgers. But, hey, they made it interesting. Noah Cameron was awesome. He was actually really good. The numbers are a little misleading because John Schreiber gave up that bases loaded triple there at the towards the end of the game to Muncy. So
I watched so first off, I thought the game started at 8:40, which is still late. Obviously I know it's the West Coast, but I was sitting there, it was like 9:05, and I was like, oh crap, the Royals are started playing. And then I was like 9:10? They haven't even started yet. Like, it's 9:10. It's 10:10 on the East Coast.
Let me see.
What
so
are
back
we doing
in
with these start
so back
times?
in May, we were playing against the Mariners, and I remember the start time was a funky start time. It was first pitch was at 6:46 p.m. and that's on the West Coast. So it would have been 8:46 p.m. First pitch. And what I'm getting at is we have a series coming up after the Dodgers series. We're staying to the West Coast. We're going over to Anaheim to play the Angels, and the start time is 8:38 for all 3 games, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So,
only for game's gonna be
3:07 Central Time.
So, I think I got that crossed up.
You got crossed up.
The series. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I watched it, and I'm like, I know full well I'm not gonna make it through this entire game. But I thought Noah Cameron looked good. About when Noah Cameron they started getting to Cameron a little bit. I think it was in the 4th inning, whenever that was.
Yeah.
Shohei hit a double, and then I think Freddie Freeman did the same. That might not be quite accurate.
Yeah, they started trickling in runs.
Tagged up. Yeah. Something happened, but anyway.
Well, Shohei Freeman hit home, Shohei, and then he got thrown out a second. So, it was dude, listen to what happened. What happened to me is I'm sitting there glued to the TV watching the game because it's actually interesting. It's actually a big game. I'm watching the game. I will literally, something will get my attention. I'll look away for 30 seconds and I'll look up and I won't notice that the Dodgers scored a run because Shohei was on second and then there's 2 outs. And I'm like, oh, so something happened. I don't know what happened, but they're not on base anymore. But then I just didn't realize that the runs were scored. And another thing later in the game, like I mentioned earlier, Cameron gets taken out. It's a 3-2 game. Royals are up. and then Schreiber comes in, gives up a bases clearing triple, making the game 3-5 in the Dodgers' favor. And it was stupid because the number 5 is similar to the number 2. So whenever, I don't know what the name of their number 9 hitter, it's it's not Rocaforte, but it's something like Verducci or something weird that I can't remember. Their number 9 hitter's on, and it's 2 outs, nobody on base anymore. And I was like, what's going on with this game? Did I miss a whole inning? Man, because I'm just like, I'll be glued, and then I'll just like not pay attention for just a second. And I look, and then I realize when we are batting the next half inning, we're losing 5-3. And I was like, how the heck did that happen? And then I look away again, right at the moment that Isbell hits his home run, and I'm looking up, and I'm seeing Nick Lofton come to bat, and it's tied 5-5. And I'm like, what is going on? Every time I look away, something is happening with this game.
Let's talk about Jack Caglione. Because Jack Caglione on Saturday, he went 4 for 4 with 2 home runs, 2 doubles, so 4 extra base hits, and 4 RBIs. It was just the Jack Caglione game.
Yeah. Something like the 5th time ever in Royals history that players had 4 extra base hits in a game.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And then we get to Monday night, Tarek Skubal, big day for the Dodgers. Woohoo, Tarek Skubal. Look at this pitcher that we got. Nick Lofton's like, that's cool. I'm Nick Lofton. Leadoff bloop, single, right field.
Yup.
Bobby Witt Jr. Avoids a double play. And then Jack Caglione is like, I'm just going to foul off 43 pitches, and we're just going to have a battle. Hits this cute little single up the middle. Scores Bob. And two innings later, a 2-run shot. So Jack Caglione's 2 for 2. Nick Lofton also 2 for 2. But Jack Caglione 2 for 2 off of Nick Lofton, off of Tarek Skubal, 3 RBIs. Like Jack Caglione, I texted you this yesterday. I'm like, he clearly just wants to be featured on ELR shorts, because I'm like, I feel like we just have to keep going out of our way to be like, so this is the Jack Caglione segment of the short now.
Yeah, literally. So I'm pulling up his stats real quick. So Jack Caglione, he right now is sitting at his 2026 batting average is 266. He has 52 RBIs, a respectable number, 21 home runs, which leads the team, 106 hits, and he has an OPS currently of 806. All of those numbers are actually kind of on the top end of the entire team. Not just home runs.
What's Bob's OPS?
Bob has an 801. So Cags leads the team, 806. Okay. Cags leads the team in slugging, 487. That's 40 points above the next guy, by the way.
It's probably like not even close who the next player as far as OPS is. But yeah, Cags is going to have 27 home runs, 75, 76 RBIs at the end of the season.
Yeah. He'll still be up there with Jensen as the most strikeouts on the team, but he's 7th on the team in walks, so that's not a flashy number, but he has the most home runs by 5. Carter Jensen and Salvi are both tied with 16. Tied for 2nd in triples, which is funny. Bobby Witt Jr. surprisingly only has 1 triple on the whole season. Cags is 3rd on the team with 21 doubles. He's also 2nd on the team in hits with 106. So that's super cool.
Yeah, triples are funny. I can't remember if it was yesterday or it would have had to have been the Cubs series, but Michael Massey hit a triple. And it was like first triple of the season, and I'm just like, really? Like,
yeah.
I just forget that triples just are not that common.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure on that play too, I was like, it's just uncomplimentary baseball, bad timing. Like in low lever situations, you're going to get a triple when there's nobody on base. Like Max Muncy, freaking short, chubby guy, is able to get a triple with the bases freaking loaded. Are we kidding? Like, it's just so frustrating. That's like a story of like finally a player gets a triple and no one's on base.
Yeah.
So we don't get extra base hits when people are on base. That's just 2026 for you.
Except for Jack Caglione.
Yeah. He's actually very good. So
he just makes Tarek Skubal look normal.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? Whenever they announced probably a week ago that Skubal was going to be making his home debut against the Royals, I knew that it was going to be a good game because if you look at the history of Skubal, I don't know if there's another team that hits Skubal better than the Royals. Like the Royals are actually pretty tough against Skubal, and of course, it's just they see him a lot, so they kind of know what he's got. And that's really the only reason you attribute that. It's not like the Royals are good. Like, unfortunately, we look at our team and we know that we are not a great team. But
yeah, but you look at it like I remember Justin Verlander in his prime just carved up the Royals. Didn't matter when it was. So like,
yeah,
Tarek Skubal is kind of this generation's Verlander in a way, and to be able to get to that guy, like that's a testament to something.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
You know, you mentioned Verlander. It's kind of off subject, but it was a fun little thing that they mentioned. They were talking to Eric Hosmer and Ryan Lefevre. They had some fun during the Cup Series. They would talk about different things. Like they were kind of quizzing Hosmer on different things. And he said, "Do you know which pitcher you faced the most in your career?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't know. It's got to be one of those AL Central guys." And he just threw out a couple names. And they were like, "It was Justin Verlander." And number 2 was, I think they said it was Quintana or Santana. I think it was Quintana.
Okay, Quintana. Okay.
Yeah. And Hosmer's just laughing, and he's like, yeah, look at all these other, like, he's just saying, of course, the 2 players that I have to hit the most are a couple of potential future Hall of Famers. So it was funny. He hit Verlander pretty well. He was like a 260 average, but then Quintana was like a 100 average. And he was like, yeah, we're not going to talk about him. He had some big breaking balls that we're just going to not talk about. I don't want to have to talk about those. But yeah, so a couple interesting series. It was kind of surprising to see the Royals actually take that series from the Twins, but then, you know, that series against the Cubs, like, story of the season, man. It was just so, I was shocked that we even won one game, and losing 10-2. I didn't even watch that game. After we started going down early, I was like, okay, bye.
I watched that game. I handled that for us, and I
thank you.
First off, Randy Dobnak, like he's been great for what he's been expected to do.
Yeah.
I'm just like, then Matthew Boyd, who's like 37 years old, is like, I'm gonna have one of the best outings of my life against the Royals. We don't get a hit till the 4th inning. Salvi gets a single. Starling Marte, who we'll talk about in a minute, 2-run home run, 2nd of the season.
Yep.
And then Dobnak had like 95 pitches through 5 innings. He just was a lot of high intensity moments, bringing in stinking Easton McGee, and I'm just like,
that sounds like a made-up name. It's like make up a baseball name like Easton McGee.
Yeah, somebody literally was like, huh,
Easton McGee.
But bring him in and just like
poop everywhere
through two innings.
So poop
gives up 2 home runs, 6 runs total, and it's like he went from being down. I think they were down 5-2 or 4-2 when they brought him in, and I know, like, at this point, wins just do not matter for the Royals. To me, it's more about like who is and who isn't on the team, right? And it was like, Easton McGee, this is your chance to show like you are a part of this team, and you go out there. Granted, against a good Cubs team, but you just did about as bad as you could have done.
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned it's against a good Cubs team. Like, it doesn't matter, because if you're a good pitcher, you'll make it work, and that's how you're going to make your name. That's how you're going to make a name for yourself. Like, it just because it's a very individual sport when it comes to pitching. It's one guy doing one job, and you're either good at it or you're not, or you're okay, I guess. But like, this just is what I've said so many times this season. As soon as the Royals try to find something, they try to call up a player to see how they're going to do, they just usually just poop their pants on the mound.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why every time, without fail.
Yeah. Easton McGee got sent down because they signed Craig Kimbrel. And then like Aaron Bummer also got sent down. because we're gonna bring Mason Black back up because we're just gonna keep trying. We're just gonna keep trying these players that stink because we just don't have anybody like Craig Kimbrel. Craig Kimbrel is top 5 all time in career saves.
Let's do the thing. Let's do the thing together. All right, let's do it. Ready? Let's do it with me. Do it with me.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. That's gonna be awesome in a Royals uniform. But
dude, I know.
Like top 5 all time in saves, career saves. But like,
which is crazy. The league has been around for like 150 years, and this dude is the one that did it the most.
Well,
by fifth place most.
I don't know. Yes, but when you look at when the save stat was introduced, I don't think the save stat has been around that long.
Okay.
So
probably the 70s or something.
Yeah, because like the way that relievers are used now versus how they were back then, you're like, this guy's. Pitchers would be like, I'm going to pitch. We're playing a doubleheader today. I'm pitching 18 innings. Like that's how it used to be. So,
oh man, I'm gonna throw 200 pitches today.
Yeah, but yeah, Craig Kimbrel. The Rays didn't want him. The Rays are the best team in baseball. The Mets didn't want him, so he's washed. But he's a body and can, just get the Royals to the end of the season.
So Craig Kimbrel's salary for the rest of this season will be $204,000 cash. He had a veteran minimum deal, which was $780,000. He already served over 2/3 of his season there. So we got him. We got 38-year-old Craig Kimbrel for approximately 2 months, a month and a half. That's fun. Yeah, it's still going to be cool. It's still going to be cool. I would rather them throw Craig Kimbrel out. Excuse me. I would rather Craig Kimbrel.
Dude, I can't say his name on the first try. I don't know what it is.
I would prefer them throw out Craig Kimbrel than Alex Lang at this point. Like there's players that have I don't know. 2026 is cooked anyway. Just see who we have at this point.
I was making my short yesterday trying to talk about Craig Kimbrel. And I might as well, that girl on YouTube that's singing and I will always love you, and she's like, that might as well have been me when I was trying to make the short.
Craig Kimbrel.
Like
Craig Crumble.
I couldn't do it.
I got to see the behind the scenes. I need to see the BTS of that.
All right. And
awesome.
We kind of got all over the place on our notes. Wasn't planning on talking about Craig Kimbrel yet. I did it.
Good job, yay.
Noah Cameron.
Yes. Very good at baseball.
So Noah Cameron went from this guy's going to get himself sent down to AAA because he just has been ineffective to we're having Beck Way open for Noah Cameron because we can't trust him to start. Noah Cameron goes 7 innings, goes toe-to-toe with Tarek Skubal as a Tiger, then goes against Minnesota, goes 8 innings, takes a no-no into the 7th, excuse me, and then plays the Twins again, goes 8 innings. And to learn that the change that Noah Cameron made was he's just calling his own pitches now. So he calls his own pitches, which increases his pace. He's just been the best pitcher in baseball over his last 4 starts, not really including last night. Because we were kind of talking about Noah Cameron. Of like last year, he was top 4 in Rookie of the Year voting, and this year he's really been a 5th starter. And now you're looking at this and like, am I going to get my hopes up about Noah Cameron? Obviously, we have 2 months left in the season, so he'll make maybe 8 starts or more between now and then. So we'll really see kind of what the end of his season looks like. But if we can go, if Noah Cameron in his last, from August to September, last 2 months of the season is this Noah Cameron, and you're like, oh, smokes.
What sucks is we had that conversation about Noah Cameron last year, like before. Yeah, we had like this He just had an insane rookie season. He had his ups and downs, but if he can kind of clean it up and kind of be serviceable and not get rocked too much, he could end his season actually really well and find himself, as a name in the rotation, not only in the rotation, but in baseball. So something I was going to say, you mentioned calling his own pitches is all it took to kind of clean up his game. I did see a stat, and it's a little bit alarming. I won't get too into it because it's his first season, but there was a stat on X that I saw that showed Noah Cameron's stat spread per catcher that he's had catching him. Carter Jensen, Luke Maile, I think he had Elias Diaz a couple times, and Salvi. Of course, the best numbers, surprisingly to nobody, was the Salvi numbers. He had the lowest batting average against. He had the lowest whip against. The Carter Jensen one was alarming. It was like whenever it was like a 350 batting average against. It must have been these games where he's given up huge numbers. I don't know. I don't know where they get everything, but
he had like a 7-game stretch where he was just awful. So it was probably in that.
Yeah. And it's always random. It's not like they specifically have mapped out which catcher is going to be with who. You're just going to so happen to have that catcher that day. And a little bit alarming. I don't think there's really that big of a correlation. I don't know if Carter Jensen's that bad at calling games. There was a little bit of a conversation about Carter Jensen's skill issues at catcher earlier on in the season. He was making a lot of letting a lot of pass balls. Lots of wild pitches were against the pitchers. When we watched the play, it kind of was Carter's fault. So that was something I did want to bring up, but very fascinating because there's lots of players in the MLB that are starting to do that. Like Seth Lugo is famous for doing that himself. He's always called his own games. And it makes you kind of wonder why players don't do that more often. I know that the pitchers like to just pitch, especially if they just grew up being a pitcher. When the ABS system comes out, lots of pitchers are saying, I'm never going to challenge a pitch because that's not my job. That's the umpire's job. And they feel similarly. There's a lot of people that have the same sentiment about calling pitches. They're like, I'm never going to call pitches. That is my catcher's job. That is my manager's job. That's the hitting coaches, the pitching coaches. All of them are the ones that are watching the game. They know who I'm facing. The catcher knows where I should be pitching. They have the scouting reports. So unless you're just a really big-brained player like Lugo or potentially Noah Cameron. I mean, maybe Noah Cameron knows better than these freaking dumb coaches out in the Royals dugout. So,
well, I honestly think it probably depends on your pace because, like you mentioned, like Chris Sale. Chris Sale was the one that said that at the beginning of the season. Like, I'm not going to challenge ABS. Yeah. I don't. I'm just going to let my catcher do his thing. But I was like paying attention because it was notable that Noah Cameron calls his own pitches now, and I was like, does Tarek Skubal call his own pitches? I was watching him like, no, he's definitely not calling his own pitches. Like Dalton Rushing, is that his name? Whoever's filling in for Will Smith with the Dodgers. He was definitely calling the pitches for,
because it would show Skubal and he'd be like,
Skubal. Yeah. Yeah, no, idiot. Yeah. But I think for me, hypothetically, when I did that cup of coffee in the minors earlier this spring, spring training.
Yeah.
I think it would probably depend on how fast you like to work. Because I think if you're calling your own pitches, you can just be like, this is what's happening, go. Where if you're not calling your own pitches, then you got to go through this whole sequence of yays and nays, and then you go. So I think if it's like, and that I work better the faster I am, I got to call my own pitches. I like it.
Yeah. And that reminds me a lot of a couple players. Just off the top of my head, it reminds me of Max Scherzer, because there's been times where when the pitch clock first came out, Max Scherzer was sitting there kind of messing with the batters. He'd be sitting there waiting to pitch, like literally as soon as you step into the box, I'm going to throw this ball as hard as I can. And he did that a lot. He got lots of strikeouts because the batters would be kind of stepping out of the box, like waiting. And then they'd be like, okay, 3, 2, 1. All right. And then by the time they step into the box, the pitch is already coming. So that was advantageous for him. So that's one example. But another is obviously Seth Lugo. And then, who was the other example I was going to say? Oh, it reminded me of Mark Burley back when he pitched for the White Sox. He was always just a really fast-paced guy. And it really made baseball games feel shorter. Every time he was on the mound, it felt like the baseball game was shorter just because he was such a fast-paced guy. Like, he's just standing there with the ball waiting. There was a Royals player, I'm not going to be able to tell you who it was, but there was a Royals player that was similar to that, where he just always seemed like he was ready. He threw the ball, he got the ball back, and he was just ready to throw it again, like seconds. And it was completely up to if the batter stepped out of the box or not, if he was just going to throw the ball immediately. So sometimes it helps the pitchers to be able to just kind of get through those at-bats quick. And
well, okay, we talked about Starling Marte earlier in the show, and I was thinking about it. I don't have anything against Starling Marte being on the team, but I'm thinking about it. Starling Marte, obviously, I don't really know what the Royals' expectation of him was in 2026. For me, it was kind of, they brought him on to be a leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
But it kind of became one of those like Lane Thomas situations where, hey, if you do well enough and we're not good, we're just going to trade you and try to get something in return. Well, clearly Starling Marte wasn't good enough to gain interest on the trade market. So he's sitting there, his slash line's 245, batting average 302 on base, 320 slugging, 620 OPS. All of those horribly under average, especially in the small sample size that he's played. He has a negative 0.4 WAR, just not having a good season. But I'm like, why is he still on the team? And it's not like get him out of here, but I'm like looking at the minors and looking at Gavin Cross, who's one of the Royals prospects. He's 25 years old. He's kind of having a really good back half of his 2026 season. He's an outfielder. We now need outfielders. Why is Starling Marte, now granted he's not playing every day, why is Starling Marte getting reps still when we could be calling up Gavin Cross and talking about somebody like Easton McGee earlier on in the show of, hey, let's see what we have. Let's get Gavin Cross some major league reps and see if he's a piece of the Royals' future.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because not only knowing now what Starling Marte is, it's a little even more frustrating. Not only right now what's going on with Gavin Cross, but why was Jack Caglione being taken out of so many games in the first half of the season? That's probably the biggest disservice and malpractice of Matt Quatraro for the entire first half of the season. Caglione is probably one of our biggest bats. I saw that. He's probably one of our biggest bats on the team, and Q, being the smarter than us guy that he is, decides that he's only going to play him half the time. It seemed like, and we kept saying when we heard that Starling Marte was a Royal, what did we say? We said, I'm okay with him being on the team as long as he's not taking starts away from Jack Caglione. And it wasn't just Marte in the beginning of the season. It was them throwing Collins, Isbell, and whoever the third outfielder was at the time. Tolbert's getting a day. Lofton's getting a day. John Rave is getting a day. Yeah. And why is people like Marte and John Rave still on the team when Starling Marte's been in the league for like 15 years? John Rave's been in the Royals system for not that many years, but a long time. We kind of have an idea of what kind of players these guys are. So I'm kind of curious why it hasn't happened a little bit sooner. First of all, it shows where we're at right now, still having a Starling Marte on the team. This season is lost. Wins don't matter. Get Starling Marte off the team. I'm sorry. I like you, Starling. Thank you for your service. You're not going to be a Royal in 2027. Gavin Cross will be a Royal in 2027, and if he's not, he'll be a Storm Chaser. So why are we wasting time seeing what that guy has? We've seen what he has for 15 years, and it's progressively gotten worse. Nothing against Starling Marte at all. I'm not trying to say he's a bum, because if he played as a starter, he might be doing a lot better. So we're taking this with a grain of salt, because
Marte is who he is. He's a 36-year-old aging veteran. It's just what he is. That's not anything against him. That's just how baseball goes. At some point, the game goes, hey, it's passed you by. And now you have Gavin Cross that's 25 years old. You mentioned all those names, the John Raves, the Tyler Tolberts, the
Drew Waters, the Nick Loftons,
whoever. We kind of know who they are. Nick Lofton's developed a little bit. He's not going to be a household name or anything, but we know who John Rave and Drew Waters are. Drew Waters is a failed first-round pick. John Rave, He is.
Couldn't tell you where it
Gavin
came
Cross.
from. Yeah, he's.
Yeah, Gavin Cross. We don't know because we've never taken the opportunity. And you said it before the show, like it's pretty much, it feels inevitable that he's going to be a September call up, and I agree, and I hope that that's true.
Yeah, I think it'll just be Gavin Cross, and we have so many. I'm not thinking we're going to bring up any pitchers, so it's kind of up to Q what he wants to do, and unfortunately, it is up to Q because we've seen how he mismanaged this entire season. So, like to answer your questions, why is Marte still on the team getting at bats? Why is Gavin Cross not on the team? It's because of Quatrero and his unfortunate leadership decisions. Like we saw it in the beginning of the season when Cags wasn't in the opening day lineup. So I don't know if that I can't remember if that was actually true, but I feel like in the beginning of the season, in the first 60 days or the first 60 games of the season, Cags probably only had 40 starts, if that.
Well, yeah, because it was like Jack Caglione can't hit lefties, and we were like, well, how do we know? Because you don't let him hit lefties.
Exactly.
And
so
I hate to break it to you. Do you see what he did to a lefty yesterday? I don't know.
Literally.
the best lefty.
How do you find starts? I would be fascinated to see how many starts Jack Caglione has.
Jack Caglione has started. Game started 104.
104, and the Royals have how many games left?
You asking me to do math?
We're 49 and 71, so we are 120 games in the season. So he was pulled from 16 starts in the beginning, and he's only played in 111 of our 120 games. So that means that he hasn't even. I mean, I can't remember if he was injured for super long in the middle of the season. He only missed a few games, but
he missed a few games because of a shoulder back, something silly happened.
Yeah. I just think, misusage of the organization as a whole. Let's be honest, misusage from lots of people. And I would like to mention that this does segue great into the next section of what we're going to say, because I just mentioned organization mismanagement. So, pretty funny little bit of news that has come through over the last couple nights. I think it was yesterday morning that this came out. So John Sherman says in an interview that he hopes to invest in the 2027 payroll after the big reset. That meaning we don't have very many players coming back in 2027. We don't have that many players under contract currently returning in 2027. So let me just read through this. This is from the sportsbusinessjournal.com. Royals owner John Sherman said that the team is freeing up some money that I think we can invest into the 2027 roster. According to Pete Grathoff of the Kansas City Star, he wrote that the Royals' opening day payroll was $143 million in 2026, but they have just 7 players set to return in 2027, and 9 others will be arbitration eligible. Roughly $30 million will be coming off the books via free agency and trades that the Royals made. As he has done for years, Sherman sat down with radio station following the trade deadline for a State of the Union type of talk. Sherman said, "We have our payroll that I think is probably at the highest sustained level as the Royals maybe ever had, right? It didn't work out this year, and that's frustrating, but it doesn't take away from what we want to accomplish. The Royals are in the last place in the American League Central." Grathoff wrote that fans want change in the front office, and Sherman was asked if general manager JJ Piccolo is still the right man for the job, and Sherman said, "No doubt. I mean, look, JJ has done a good job." Sherman added, "It's time to start thinking about 27 and what we need to do to get ready to put together a better product on the field." There's a couple quotes that weren't in this paragraph. He did mention that he wanted to invest some heavy money in the starting rotation because he thinks it's going to be inevitable that they're going to have to. That being because, starters like Cole Reagans, he's going to be out most of 27 with Tommy John surgeries. Kolek and Avila, who have shown flashes of being good, Kolek more so than Avila, have both underwent Tommy John surgery in the last 10 days. And the starting rotation is just kind of a question mark. Michael Wacha is in his mid to late 30s. So is Seth Lugo, mid 30s. Seth Lugo's shown I would say, significant regression from what he was expecting. And Michael Wacha is amazing. So I am okay with Michael Wacha coming back of the entire pitching staff. But he's just getting older. And the last thing you would want to do is pay him a crap ton of money whenever he's going to maybe start showing similar signs of regression. So, all this being said, yeah, no crap, Sherlock. Like, yeah, you're going to have to spend money if you want to be competitive in 2027. But what just irks me to my core is, unfortunately, I think that John Sherman is saddled in for same song, different verse in 2027. I don't want to be blackpilled completely. I literally had a text message typed out to you talking about this thing, but I think this is yesterday. I had a big old text message paragraph ranting about how I wanted to, I decided to not send it to you because I wanted to talk about it on the podcast. But dude, if this is true, then like, if this is true that we are like, this is confirming we're not going to get any leadership changes. Like, we've been, what?
Okay. I will say, so is JJ Piccolo still the right man for the job? No doubt. I mean, look, JJ has done a good job. So here's my thing is I still think that there is a chance that we have a change in leadership, because the way I look at this is John Sherman's not going to say on an interview, yeah, we hate JJ. He's just not going to do that. Like, he's just not going to do that.
Okay.
So I do think that there's a chance that they make a change at GM. I do think. But I'm with you. Like, I know this organization too well that, like, we called the trade deadline how it was going to go 60 days before it happened, because we just know this team well enough. So
yep.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be shocked when the season ends and we get a message that says Royals are retaining JJ Piccolo and Matt Quatraro for the 2027 season.
We have had conversations, and to kind of like play devil's advocate for this conversation, it's like we've had the conversation of wondering, is it really Quatraro and JJ's fault, or are the players really just pissing their pants that badly? Like, is it true that they're mismanaging a little bit and not being 10 out of 10s at their jobs? Yes, it is a true statement. However, is it also at the same time a true statement that all of our players have underperformed significantly this season? That is probably a bigger, more emphatic yes than the latter. So if I'm looking, I think that all of these players have really regressed, and if they would have came into 2026 with the improvement that we all thought they would, everyone in the entire nation bought the Kool-Aid. They drank the Kool-Aid. They bought in to the lie, to the scheme, and Pasquantino has been an utter disappointment. Garcia hasn't been healthy, disappointment. Bubic and Reagans both got hurt. One of them's not even a Royal anymore. So those are just to name a few. Salvi's regressed. Bobby's regressed. And Bobby is still one of the best on the team, but that's not saying much because he's playing for the Royals. So the only people that have improved is Jack Caglione. Carter Jensen, he's kind of been a little bit of the same of what we were hoping, but like there hasn't been a huge step forward. So in 2027, we're kind of looking into the future, like to kind of see. And I wanted to kind of quiz you a little bit before I don't want to change subjects too much. But on the topic of players and who we have on the roster, where'd it go? Right here. So as that article said, there are 7 players that will be returning. They're under contract through at least 2027. So I will tell you the 7 players that are under contract: Bobby Witt Jr., Michael Garcia, Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha, Pasquantino, Cole Reagans, Carlos Estevez, and Salvador Perez. So my quiz, I was going to ask you a couple fun questions. I mean, I don't want to get too off subject, but a couple of the fun questions is, I was going to kind of ask you, who do you think the highest paid, second highest paid, third highest paid? So if you had to guess, besides Bobby, I think you might have already answered this before we were even recording, but Who do you think is this? So Bobby makes the most money as a Kansas City Royal, average annual value, $26.25 million.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think is at second place? And what do you think their number is? You might know.
Did they not sign Salvi to some ridiculous 2-year deal?
Salvi signed a 2-year deal, and that has him at the 4th highest paid Royal.
Okay, so he's the 4th highest paid Royal. Is it? It's not Lugo. Is it Lugo?
Seth Lugo, 35-year-old Seth Lugo, turning 36, is in a 2-year deal that was extended this last year. He's making $23 million a year.
Okay.
Michael Wacha is in 3rd place. 3-year deal, which also ends the same year as Lugo. So after they end in 2028. $17 million. Salvador Perez signed a 2-year extension over the offseason, $25 million. So he's at 12.5. Michael Garcia signed a 5-year deal over the offseason, has him locked up until 2031. $57 million, so has him at 11.5. Carlos Estevez is eating up $11 million a year. So he's only under contract through 2027. And then that's it. Vinny Pasquantino signed a 2-year extension, but these are lower values. Even Cole Reagans, he's only making $44 million or $4.4 million. So all of the other names that are not returning as Royals: Cruz, Ray, Avila, Black, Way, Kimbrel, Kodobnak, Jensen, Tolbert, Kaggs, Lofton, Kolek, Marsh, Collins, Seabold, Cameron, Ursig, MacArthur, Maley, Quaz, Rojas, Lang, Marte, Lynch, Pearson, Massey, Mears, Isbell, Schreiber, India.
And
there's only like 3 names. Go ahead.
Most of those names you mentioned are like good riddance. Who cares?
Yeah. Like, I'm curious to bring back Dobnak. He probably has a spot, if not on the rotation, at least as a middle relief guy. Luinder Avila, I'd like to see him as a late relief guy. I think he has good stuff. Steven Cruz, maybe even have him as a, the Royals are up by 4, bring him in the 7th or 8th inning. Some of these guys have their place. Carlos Estevez, good riddance. You're under contract, but I'd rather see him get cut. Carter Jensen, bring him back. Tyler Tolbert, you might have a spot on the roster if you're still fast as frick. Kaggs, obviously bring him back. Nick Lofton, one of the only actual good value utility guys on our roster. Stephen Kolek, I'd love to see him back, but he might get picked up by somebody else, and he's hurt until at least the end of 2027. Like, he might not even pitch very much. Isaac Collins, we only got him for this 2026 season, and he hasn't performed, so do we even want to see him back? Ursig, please leave. Noah Cameron, I'd bring him back. All these other names. Daniel Lynch, you might have a spot. Michael Massey, maybe. I'd like to see you back. Kyle Isbell, maybe. That's it. Everyone else, walk. I don't even care. Like, Schreiber's fun to watch pitch because he's a sidearm, but other than that. And did you know that the Royals currently have no lefties in their bullpen? So this is just kind of like everything that could go bad went bad. And it's continuing daily to get worse. And what will the Royals do to, do anything, to make a splash? Like, this major league roster is bleeding, and they are, they're taking their last couple of breaths right now. And I would love to be able to say that John Sherman is serious. We're going to spend some money, but we have gaping holes in every position. We have gigantic needs at every position, it seems like. Besides shortstop and besides right field and first base, maybe. Third base, I'd love to see Garcia back. He's still under contract for a long time, but is he going to be healthy? Like, these are all conversations we've had about, the dude gets his bag and then he just sits out because he's hurt. Oh, my finger hurts.
Well, the Michael Garcia, that's probably a conversation for another time, but that's where did he go? What happened to him? He's just gone. I keep seeing,
dude, there's been someone hit a home run. Kaggs hit a home run the other day, and then you see him celebrating in the sideline, and you're like, "Are you hurt? Like, why are you here? Are you hurt?" Yeah. I don't know, man. It sounds like a lot of hoopla, and I hear John Sherman talking, and it's like, I want to believe you, but like, the change that needs to happen to make the Royals competitive and actually a playoff team, I don't think we're going to see it. Like, the amount of money that we're locked up at, like, I could probably do some quick math with Spot Track real quick, but the amount of money that we're tied up with through 2027. So, all right, let's do some quick math here. And I'll just do it by the millions to make it not as hard to understand here. So starting with Salvi in 27, he's making 12.5. Then we got Estevez making 11.1. All right, so collectively the Royals between Bobby Witt, Garcia, Lugo, Waka, Pasquantino, Reagan, Estevez, and Perez, we are tied up with $111.25 million. Hey, that alone still exceeds some organization entire payrolls. However, if you're going to be saying like to explain this to people that haven't watched the show before, there's only a couple things you can do to fix your team. You have your farm system, and your farm system is your farm system that has a lot of players that are developing, and you can interchange those players as much as you want. But the major league roster, that's who you got. Those are the best of the best in your organization and in your whole system. And there's only a few things you can do to switch it up. You can cut and sign people, or you can like let their contracts end like we're about to see, and then have some new people brought in that in similar situations as these Royals players. Maybe we just sign a bunch of names just to fill the roster. But you can do that. You can trade pieces, trade some value, get back some other value in different other ways. But like, it's just so unfortunate that our major league talent is so not only like underwhelming, but Bobby Witt Jr. is the only name on this entire list that's actually like a star. Players being retained. Like, Pasquantino is funny. He makes good offseason content. Has a couple of funny things to say on podcasts here and there, but like, okay. So, anyway, you got any 2 cents on that?
We talked about it a couple weeks ago. The Royals have to go into free agency and spend money. And they don't need to spend money on Tarek Skubal or whoever the top position player is. That's not what we're saying, but like, you have to go and spend money. So it's good to know that John Sherman on record is saying like, yeah, we're going to go spend money. But like, what does that mean? Is it like we're going to go spend like bottom tier free agents and just fill out a roster again? Because for me, I'm like, I feel like the Royals have been trying to find a second baseman my entire existence. And like Michael Massey's fine, and he's had a good kind of second half of the season, but I'm like, is there a second baseman that the Royals can go get? Can we go and pay an outfielder? Can we go and get excited about something? Because I'm just like, I'm tired of having to go and be like, wow, Lane Thomas. Look at like your
that is not
a Royals fan's favorite player versus a Dodgers fan's favorite player. Like growing up, I'm like, who's your first favorite player? Like, oh, like John Buck was my favorite player. Like John Buck is nobody, but he's my first favorite player. Like, and literally. Like that's not an indictment on Lane Thomas, but I'm like, can we get? And I doubt anybody.
You want to hear who my favorite player was as a little kid?
Let's hear it.
Jimmy Gobble.
Jimmy Gobble, the lefty, right? Or is he? I don't know.
Yep, because because his last name was Gobble, and it was hilarious. Gobble. That's literally the only reason.
He had an interesting delivery. I remember.
Yes,
I think he had a high.
But yeah,
kick.
It's just like if you're a Dodgers fan, imagine you're a kid. Who's your favorite player? Shohei Ohtani. Yeah. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman.
Just keep naming names.
Yeah, like, and take your freaking pick.
And I say this. I'm not saying the Royals need to go and have a $400 million payroll. Nobody's saying that. But like, can we go and like stop doing this? Let's hold on to our assets. Let's not trade. I know like it's hindsight, but like let's not trade Cole Reagans for Jarren Duran. Let's hold on to, or let's give up as little as we can, and we can get Isaac Collins. And you and I have to get on a podcast and sit here and like really talk up Isaac Collins. Like trying to find the positives in Isaac Collins, and we're like, oh, he gets on base. But at the same time, you're like, why did the Brewers not want this guy? So
yeah,
go get me somebody that we can get on here and be like, oh my gosh, this changes everything, please.
Yeah. And the thing that sucks is like teams that are good have good teams. It's not they only have good players. So successful teams are going to have players like, I'm not saying Bobby Witt Jr. level, but like if Jack Caglione is going to be one of our biggest bats for years to come, that's fine. But that's just a couple positions on the entire field. If we're expecting Salvi to retire, which is entirely possible, it's like we have Vinny Pasquantino, who's not even playing right now. He is. I did just see, hey, that did just come through on my phone. I did see that Vinny Pasquantino is expected to make his rehab start tonight. That's Tuesday the 11th. So that's some fun little breaking news. But, you know, Michael Garcia, like, let's just look at the field. I don't want to keep harping on it, but looking at the field, if we have Carter Jensen as a catcher, okay, that's cool. Get me a couple serviceable backups. Luke Maley, not serviceable backup. Elias Diaz was a serviceable backup. He was even a veteran, so I don't know why they walked on him. But third base, Garcia, that's fine if he can be healthy. Having Nick Lofton to kind of pick up the pieces, that's okay. That is okay. Okay. Bobby Witt Jr. at shortstop. Go spend money on a second baseman, please, Royals.
So let's look. So I'm just gonna real quick. This is the pending free agents for after 2026 ends. So Gleyber Torres, Luis Arias, Jazz Chisholm, Jonathan India, Isaiah Kiner Falefa. Like those.
What positions are you looking at right now?
These are second basemen.
Okay.
No, that's not everybody. But those are names that like go and get one of those guys. And then you go, I'm going to just name a few outfielders. George Springer, he's old. Don't go get George Springer. Trent Grisham, going to be too expensive. Ian Happ, Seiya Suzuki, Randy Arozarena, Taylor Ward, Jazz Chisholm's in the outfield as well. Dalton Varsho, Adolis Garcia, Austin Hayes, Kike Hernandez,
Lane Thomas, Randall Grichuk.
Like
and you want to know what sucks about all of these lists that there is one name in the entire outfielder list that is not going to be 30 opening day 2027, and that's Jazz Chisholm, not an option.
And you know, like I look at the outfield list and I'm like, I'm not even excited about any of those names. So that's what's hard about that.
Literally. I mean, if you told me the Royals signed like Randy Arozarena, it's hard to not get a little excited about that because he's actually still good. That's kind of like a Starling Marte type, but 5 years ago where they're still better than who you got.
Go surprise me and go sign 32-year-old Ian Happ. I like sign him to a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
Do something. And then you look at like relief pitchers, Peter Fairbanks, Blake Trainin, AJ Minter, Andrew Kittredge, David Peterson, David Bednar. Go spend some money. Go spend some money on some of those players that I listed. Yeah. Mr. Sherman.
Man, and it's kind of like alarming, even looking at relief pitchers coming out into free agency.
I didn't realize Blake Trainin was that old. Holy smokes.
2 players. And out of all of the pending relief pitchers in the entire MLB, there are 2 names that will be under the age of 30 by the start of 2027. So this is like alarming. And I'm not saying this I do think that there is value in a athlete if they're over the age of 30, especially in baseball, because usually they get late starts anyway. Like Tarek Skubel's turning 30. Like I would gladly take a Tarek Skubel. But there's so many players here that I just like, they're not bad. I would be okay with them. Like David Bednar, that would be awesome. If you told me we got Bednar, I would be like, yes, please. Who's someone else on this list? Like, man, we just saw. Did we see Evan Phillips? I've heard that name. He's not terrible, but these are just a couple names. And like looking at just infielders in general, even if we went shortstop and moved him over to second base, again, there's not a single pending free agent under the age of 30. Nicky Lopez will be 32. That generation of baseball players will be 32.
I'll take J.P. Crawford.
I would take J.P. Crawford. That'd be sick. Yeah. So
point is,
we just have a lot of work to do, because in baseball, it seems that the better the player, the younger they're getting locked up with their current teams, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you got to be good at farm system, like bringing up all these players that you've never heard of. You got to be good at drafting. So we got 2 DHs that will be free agents, Dominic Smith and Adam Frazier. Wow. But anyway, very fascinating to look at some of these names. I'm not sure who you would get you excited, but like Robbie Ray as a starting pitcher is going to be a free agent. Shota Amajanana is going to be a free agent. Zach Gallen, Brandon Woodruff, Kevin Gossman, Jack Flaherty.
And then
Shane
you look
Bieber.
at those guys and you're like, are the Royals? I could see the Royals paying like a Shane Bieber, but like the other guys, they're not going to be paying $22 million a year to have those guys pitch. They already have a guy. They already have a 35-year-old that they're doing that for. So
all the names I mentioned, by the way, are in their early 30s. So Chris Bubich is the youngest person on this list so far, and he's not a Royal, and he'll be turning 29. So pretty crazy to see, to actually like look at it this way. Yeah, man. There's a lot, like there's some players that have adjusted market values. Like some of them are actually making much less. Obviously, Tarek Skubal is one of them, making much less than he's projected to make. But then there's some that are projected to make a ton less, like Jameson Taillon with the Toronto Blue Jays. He'll be 35. He's making $17 million. He's projected to sign for $4 million. So, yeah, man.
I'm pretty sure he got DFA'd. So, yeah,
sucks to suck, buddy. All right, bro. Well, we're over an hour recording, so let's kind of wind this down. I kind of wanted to talk about a few other things before we sign off. So, just kind of a few little around the MLB things that happened. First of all, the playoff schedule was released. If you're a Royals fan, fast forward through this, but basically, MLB announced all of the dates, and it's kind of cool. Looks like if they go to a Game 7 in the World Series, it'd be on Halloween night, so that's kind of cool. Looks like the Wild Card Series will all start on September 29th. The Division Series will all start their first game on October 3rd. And then the Championship Series, they will both start their games October 11th as the NLCS, and October 12th will be the ALCS. Reason I say this is you watched a lot of crappy baseball as a Royals fan this season. There is no better time to watch baseball and actually enjoy the sport than the postseason. If you want to just watch some of the most fun, cool, actual good baseball, which I am a big fan of, October. Just sign in, start in October, just watch some baseball. It's pretty awesome. Looks like most of the games will be on Wildcard Series. We got ESPN, ABC. Division Series, we got TBS, HBO Max, and Fox. The Championship Series, the ALCS, will be on TBS and HBO Max. NLCS will be on Fox. And then the World Series is all on Fox. So, pretty fun stuff. Next up, I wanted to give a shout out to the Miz, Jacob Mizorowski. He got his 200 strikeout this season already. It's the second fastest in MLB history that a player has gotten to 200 strikeouts this quickly. And the first and third place is Chase Burns. So that was kind of funny. Did it faster than, Kershaw ever did it, Greinke ever did it, Scherzer ever did it. It was pretty cool. Another thing I wanted to mention, there was a couple of really weird plays that happened last week that I wanted to mention. There's a rule that people refer to as the fourth out rule. So I'll kind of just read through this to kind of buzz through it. So the Red Sox benefit from a bizarre 2-out mix-up to score a run against the Toronto Blue Jays, and this was just a couple nights ago. This was literally written yesterday. Boston Red Sox and the Blue Jays were involved in one of the wildest plays ever. At the top of the 7th inning, the scoreboard showed that the Red Sox had 2 outs. The entire field believed it. And it seems, but in reality, they only had 1 out. The Red Sox only had 1 out, but the scoreboard said 2. This resulted in a crazy inning-ending double play. But what they didn't realize, so there's a pop-up to center field. And if you think there's 2 outs, what do you do as a base runner? There's runners at first and second. What do you do?
If there's
start
2 outs,
running.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah, you go. You're running. The moment the ball goes in the air, you just start running. Just in case the guy drops it, right? So what happens is the guy at second goes all the way around and he hits home plate. The ball's caught, and then the ball is kind of thrown back to the infield, and there's a little bit of confusion to what's going on, but the scoreboard, since it moved back, everyone's like, oh, wait, there was only 1 out. So then the relay guy throws it to first, and they get the guy doubled up off of first base. The runner that was on first to start the play, he is out. But there's a weird rule. So the guy that was at second, he goes around and he scores. Okay. What happened was he scored before the other guy at first base was doubled up. Technically, the defense would have to appeal that he didn't tag up. And since they knew that they doubled up the guy at first base, they were like, oh, we got a double play. So that's the end of the inning, right? The broadcast leaves, and the broadcast comes back, and the scoreboard says Toronto 2, Boston 1. So they had just gained a run, and everyone's confused. So they have to explain in the broadcast, well, what happened during the break, the umpires got together, and they determined that he reached home plate before the guy at first base was out. And once all the infielders cross the foul line on the left field side, on the third base side, none of them are allowed to ask for an appeal anymore. Nobody on the entire, once all those position players are off the field, they pass that third base line, they're not allowed to appeal the play anymore. So what happened was the Blue Jays manager, I don't remember his name, but he's that bearded guy that's really hot all the time. Yeah, he's really hot. Oh, so he goes out there to argue, and he's like, "Why'd you give him a run? You got double play. They're out. He didn't even tag up." And they were like, "Well, he scored before the other guy got called out, and you guys didn't appeal it because you have to appeal that he tagged, or that he did not tag second to tag up to go score." So technically, what would have had to have happened is they would have had to appeal and say that he did not tag up at second when the ball was caught, resulting in a 4th out. So the rule is MLB Rule 5.09 parentheses C parentheses 4. Go look that up if you care so much. But the same thing happened in 2022, apparently, Pirates-Nationals game. But since they knew that had already happened, hilariously, the same thing happened again, and they knew exactly the play that happened. So I don't know the result of that game. I could probably check, but I don't really care. I don't think Royals fans care either. But in case you were wondering, apparently you have to appeal or else they're just going to gift you a run. So that was a very fascinating play. I wanted to mention that. One other thing I wanted to mention before we sign off, because this does pertain to not only the Royals but the Chiefs, it pertains to Kansas City fans in general. The Buffalo Bills have a new stadium, Highmark Stadium, and they did the whole PSL program, which is personal seat licenses. Thank you for reminding me what that acronym stood for. And there is outrage among dozens and dozens, probably hundreds of Bills fans that paid for these PSLs. If you look at some of the pictures, there are some of the most ridiculous obstructed views I've ever seen. And you pointed it out. Populous was the architectural firm that built this stadium, Kansas City based. So this is like an elite level troll from the Kansas City people. But there's pillars in the way. There's entire chunks of the upper level seat that's covering people's views, but mostly every single VOM, so the entrance that you walk out into the seats from the concourse, it's called a VOM. Those have these big, stupid glass railings that go across them, And every single section in the outfield, all across the entire upper level in a big circle, all of them have these big, ugly, stupid glass railings that block the views of numerous fans. And there's these fans that are posting their pictures, like their view from their seat, and they're like, I paid X dollars, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars for my PSL, and this is my view. Are we kidding? Is this a joke? And dude, I wish we would have been recording when you first saw the pictures, because your reaction was priceless, bro. You were literally like, what the frick? And they kept getting worse and worse. Literally, the obstruction was getting worse and worse. And I couldn't tell you a single seat in all of Arrowhead that has an obstructed view. Maybe if you're in like one of the suite levels, off on a corner, maybe there's like a speaker that might hang down and block a corner. But that is in a different league when we're talking about these two things. So I really hope that Manica, or whatever you said, is doing the Chief Stadium.
Yeah, Manica.
I hope they get their crap together, because if there's a single seat like this, dude, that's going to just piss everyone off. And with the Royals, who knows who they're going to get to build the stadium. So I'm really hoping that we do not see any of this, and it is hilarious that Buffalo Bills fans have to deal with this. And, maybe Kansas City's doing them a favor. They won't have to watch the Bills lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs, because the field will be blocked.
Yeah, you mentioned before, you were like, you said it says Bills Stadium and PSLs are a disaster, and I was like, what's wrong with the stadium? Because I thought it looks cool in the like little glimpse that I saw, and then you were like, dude, have you not seen the obstructed views? And I'm like just scrolling through these pictures, and it just got progressively worse, and I'm like, I'm thinking of like Fenway Park and Wrigley Field that are 120-year-old stadiums. They're like, yeah, they have obstructed views because that's just how they built them for the time. But we can't, a $2 billion stadium in 2026 cannot have as many obstructed views as Highmark Stadium seems to have. And I don't know what the oversight was, if it was like, we're just going to try to shove as many seats as possible into this thing, and we're just going to deal with the rest later. But some of the details just got completely missed. And yeah, the first thing I did was I looked up who built Highmark Stadium, and it was Populous. I'm like, okay, who's building the Chiefs? The Chiefs hopefully are taking notes from this and going, hey, taking notes from this. And yeah, hopefully we're just
club
gonna and few fugitives. Anyway, yeah, but no, hopefully we don't. It's 5 years from now, 4 years from now, we're not like saying the same thing, because some of those were like nosebleeds, which is like where I'm gonna be sitting when I go.
Yeah.
So
exactly. So I have 3 photos here that these are the main ones that I wanted to show. So they're obviously one of them is from like the furthest corner you can possibly get in the stadium. But then a couple of them are just like actual regular old seats. So this one is one of the front rows of the upper level. So look at that.
Beautiful.
It's terrible.
That's a good.
This one is from
$200 down the drain right there.
Yeah, literally. This one is from the nosebleeds.
It's fantastic. That's exactly what I hope to see when I go to a football game, is a quarter of the field. Nothing else.
It's a concrete wall.
Dream seat.
And this is the one that this one would probably piss me off the most, because it is glass so you can see, but there's people walking in front of it. Look at this one.
Yeah.
That is what everyone in the upper level is dealing with. See every single section, how they have that little opening walkway? Yeah, that, but times however many there are in that stadium. Look at that.
Yeah, if that yellow shirt guy he's on every staircase just standing there. He comes with the stadium.
Yeah.
I cannot believe they did that. Like who would do that?
Hey, I'm Larry. I was today years old when I learned "Have a Catch" was from a stupid movie that people like, apparently.
Hey.
I'm just kidding. Comment down below. Do you say, this is going to be, I have a feeling this is going to be a little bit of an echo chamber for me because you validated me already. And since we're in Kansas City, I think that it might be a regional thing, that or it's people that were around back when Shoeless Joe Jackson was in the league. Like, what do you say when you're inviting someone to throw a ball with you? Okay. Do you say, hey, you want to have a catch with me? Or do you say, do you want to play catch with me? What do you say, Brandon?
So, first off, I say, hey, do you want to play catch? But in the context of the post, referencing Field of Dreams.
Yeah, so if in case you missed it, MLB posted a Field of Dreams video with Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. coming out of the cornfield at the Field of Dreams. And Ken Griffey Jr. says to his dad, hey, want to have a catch? And they're directly, referencing the Kevin Costner bit where in the movie Field of Dreams, he says, want to have a catch. Now, my argument was not trying to... These people all saying, yeah, it's from the movie, duh. Yeah, it's from the movie, yeah. Doing movie. It's from the movie. I understand that. All I'm trying to say is that sounds stupid. I don't care if it's the boomer that wrote the script. The movie Field of Dreams was released in 1988. So whatever boomer wrote the script for Field of Dreams, he has never been asked to play catch, evidently, because he said want to have a catch. What? Field of Dreams is in Iowa. The guy that wrote the movie Field of Dreams, guarantee he's not from Iowa, because here in America, we say, want to play catch?
It's okay. I'm with you on the language, but all this tells me is you have to watch Field of Dreams. You have to see Field of Dreams. Because it is, and it's okay that you haven't, but I think you should. I think this experience...
needed to happen.
top of the list. Moses needs to go watch Field of Dreams because it's one of the best baseball movies.
Yeah, I understand it is, but yeah. All I'm trying to say, I understand they're trying to reference the movie. I understand that. All I'm trying to say is just the fact that it's part of a quote in the movie does not make the sentence "want to have a catch" sound less stupid. That's all I'm trying to say. This all
stems from Moses getting roasted on Instagram on
the
ELR account.
Whoa. Hold up. I would like to address the fact that...
Well, go ahead and address yourself, basement boy. Let's go.
Basement man. Hey, 331 likes on my comment, I'd like to point out.
There you go.
331 likes, and then there's 81 replies. Probably half of them are me responding snarkily, but 50-something people had something to say about it, but 331 people agree with me, so yeah, if you're the nerd that says want to have a catch, yeah, you can just go eat eggs, dude. Go eat some scrambled eggs, man.
Hey,
get out of here.
You know what this means is in the off season we're gonna watch baseball movies that Moses hasn't seen or has seen, and we're gonna talk about them. That's what we're gonna do. And Field of Dreams is gonna be the first one that we do. I think that's what we've all learned today. All right, what's your honorable mention?
My honorable mention is going to be the first Weiss is officially going to college. My youngest brother, Shadrach, attending Benedictine College in Atchison, Kansas to play football. So good luck, Shadrach. Good luck in college. The first Weiss to go to college, which is shocking because we're all so rich and smart and successful, right?
Clearly. My dogs are barking.
Yeah, so yeah, shout out to him. Good luck in college. That's all I got. What's your honorable mention of the week?
My honorable mention is
on your phone, apparently.
No, it's loading. My dogs are barking.
Oh, okay.
Honorable mention is the Culinary Center of Kansas City. So
What the heck?
So you can go and take like cooking classes there, like just as like a fun get together. So I took Celeste there on Saturday, and we got to make like pizza dough from scratch, and like got to make our own pizzas. Ooh. And got to make these awesome, and like got to learn how to do it. It was a fun time. It was not cheap, but definitely like if you're looking for something to do that's like an experience and maybe like out of the norm, you should go look into Culinary Center of KC, because they have all kinds of different classes that you can do.
Bro.
So I'm now a pizza professional.
All right, well, Daddy's hungry now, so please explain in excruciating detail this pizza. What was it?
Wait. It's just like just pizza dough. So pizza dough, flour, yeast, whatever, and water, like really actually simple. And then some pizza sauce that I don't remember how to make, but
tomato.
I have the recipe somewhere, but then chopped up onions and peppers, and then pepperonis, and then just cheese.
There you go.
And
most expensive pizza you've ever made, huh?
Oh, yes. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, you got mad at the $13 frozen pizzas. And you're complaining about that?
Yeah. Well, it was like, because we went, and the way it's set up is like there's 4 people per station. And there was like, if you're going to probably get paired up with some random people, which we got paired up with a couple of sweet old ladies. They weren't.
Oh, nice.
Weren't old. They probably weren't old. They weren't that old. That was probably too far. But anyway, we were like, man, I don't want to be paired up with like some random people. But we're like, dude, I don't want to ask somebody to like pay as much as we did to like be a double date with us. So we're like, I guess we're just gonna go. Yeah. Gonna go be with some randos. It was fun. It was worth it.
That's awesome, dude. What was it again? What was it called?
Culinary Center of KC.
Where is that? Oh,
answered your question.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought that there was a culinary school. Am I tripping? Isn't there a culinary school over, like, if let's say you're in Raytown and you're driving towards the plaza, you kind of go past like Big T's, you keep driving, you go past Swope, and then you kind of start getting into that like towards the plaza area. And there on the left, there's like a Burger King and like a little school. There's like a Sonic right there. I thought there was a culinary institute there.
There might be. I don't know.
I think that's like a college though, not like a business. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Anyway. All right, bro. That's all I got. The Royals suck, unfortunately. We are wrong. Our original prediction when we said that the Royals don't actually suck. Unfortunately, they actually do.
Contrary to popular belief. Whoops.
So,
yeah.
We're playing the Dodgers the rest of the week, and then we're going out to Anaheim to take on the Angels. So, hopefully, this time next week, we will be talking about how we shocked the house and we were able to take the last 2 of the Dodgers series and then sweep the terrible Angels. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, the Angels have the worst record in the MLB, which they do. They have the least number of wins. They have 45 wins, 74 losses. So they are actually quite a few games worse than the Royals. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got, bro.
That's impressive. All right. Well, my parting words.
Yeah, what else you got to say?
Go Chiefs. Chiefs play their first preseason game on Saturday.
Should I go? My birthday is this weekend, so
if you want to go and see Justin Fields and
dude, I think
whoever the heck third string is, and see nobody
Nussmeier, dude. Give him the credit where he's due. Nussmeier.
Then yeah, go ahead and
we're taking on. We might see McDuffie in a Rams uni. All right, that's all I got. Thank you all for watching ELR 39. Man,
yes.
It's a lot of ELR. But anyway, that's all we got. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned for our series recap videos. We love you. Everybody loves love. That's all I got.
Yeah. All right. See you later.
Peace.